Hey everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brenden Mincheff here with an update on this winter storm that's moving through Northern California on this Friday evening. It's been kind of some off and on rain all day in the valley. Had a bit of a heavier band to go through for the evening commute, but the heaviest rain will arrive Saturday morning. And I'm talking the heaviest rain that we've seen so far. We got this high pressure out over the Pacific, and you can see that stream of moisture, that plume of moisture pushing right into Northern California as we work this evening in towards tomorrow. This is, again, going to bring us a lot of rain. So, we've seen some decent rain so far, but tomorrow, again, the heaviest that we've had up to this point. 58 for a high temperature in Sacramento tomorrow, 58 in Elk Grove, 56 in Fairfield, 58 in Stockton, 58 in Modesto for highs, 56 in Jackson, 41 in South Lake Tahoe, 40 in Truckee for New Year's Eve in Northern California. Heavy rain in the morning. The evening, though, not so bad. We should actually clear out, maybe even some clear skies by the time we ring in the new year. Taking a look at Futurecast as we work through the evening on Friday and overnight into Saturday. Look at that. So now we're at 4 a.m. That rain builds in across the valley and even into the Sierra. So this is a warm system, a warmer winter storm than what we've had with some of the ones previously this season. So those snow levels are going to remain pretty high, especially in the morning hours tomorrow, looking at anywhere between about 8,000 and 9,000 feet for snow levels. So most of us will be dealing with rain as we work through Saturday morning. The heaviest stuff will be from about 6 a.m. on Saturday to about 11, maybe noon on Saturday. It's going to last pretty much the entirety of the a.m. hours before you see this cold front start to work its way in. And as that cold front pushes through, it's actually going to clear out a lot of that precipitation that's going to be in front of the front. So as soon as that cold front comes on through, you're going to notice clearing skies. The rain will stop, then the clouds will break. This is 5:30 on Saturday, so that rain is starting to come to an end from north to south. But you notice that snow, now the snow levels drop. So as that cold front moves on through Northern California, that snow level is going to go from about 9,000 feet in the morning to about 7,000 feet by midday, which will put it at the highest peaks and passes along I-80 and US 50. And then into the evening hours, even though it's going to be tapering off, not too much snow left in the Sierra by the time we get in towards Saturday evening, early Sunday morning, like the overnight hours on Saturday to Sunday, that snow level could go as low as about 5,000 feet. So there will be some snow, even maybe a few inches of snow for areas that are about 5,000 to 6,000 feet in elevation, but it's not going to be very much because by the time that snow level actually drops, as you can see, most of that snow has already come to an end. This is January 1st at midnight. So by the time, again, we ring in the new year, looks to be pretty clear in Northern California. But the other story is the wind. That's something we've dealt with mostly yesterday, but that we'll be seeing again on Saturday. So we've had some wind. It's not as strong as it was at times Thursday and Friday, but you do see that wind coming to an end Saturday morning, even though it is pretty rainy at this time. And then throughout the rest of the day, it's just going to be decently breezy, 10 to 15 mile an hour sustained winds across the valley. It will pick up again as we work in towards Saturday night, Sunday morning. Those winds pick up again, still 10, 15 miles an hour, maybe a little stronger in the northern Sacramento Valley. But by the time that rain comes to an end, it'll just be breezes that we're dealing with. How much rain have we seen so far? Well, over the last 48 hours, Placerville, 3.5 inches of rain. Downtown Sacramento, over an inch of rain. Stockton Airport, about 9/10 of an inch of rain. Woodland, almost 9/10 as well. Modesto still sitting at half an inch of rain. But remember, this is what we've seen so far. The heaviest rain, especially for valley areas, is still to come for Saturday morning. In terms of where we are on the water year, we're doing very well in December. December has been an incredible month for rainfall in Sacramento. Over 5.5 inches so far, with, again, more to come. And then the average to date is only about 3.5 inches. So we're more than 2 inches above where we normally are for the month. For the water year, started on October 1st, over half an inch above where we normally are to this point in the water year. So with that total since October 1st, about 6.5 inches in Sacramento, over 6.5 inches in Stockton, over 7 inches in San Francisco, and about 10.5 inches in South Lake Tahoe of liquid precip. Everywhere in blue is above average. You can see those numbers trending in the right direction. Still some work to do in far southern California and in far northern California, but we're making progress up there, and there's still a lot more rain to come for our Central Valley location. So some estimated rainfall from some of the models here, looking at about 2.5 inches potentially for the Sacramento Valley, but you see some numbers up to 3 inches to 4 inches for the foothill locations. So there's pretty good agreement in that. That was the American model. Now we're looking at the European data, and you can still see about 2 to 3 inches of rain in the valley still to come, with another 3 to 5, maybe even a little bit more in our foothill location. So because of all that rain, still have that flood watch. That's now until Saturday evening, late in the day on Saturday, for excessive runoff, flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, low-lying areas, and some ponding on roadways and parking lots. And what I mean when I say ponding, not that the entire parking lot would be flooded, not that the entire road would necessarily be flooded, but just that maybe a lane of road is flooded, whereas the other two were still good, or a section of the parking lot where there's particularly poor drainage. Maybe that's got some water in it, not recommended to drive or park through, but the other bit of the parking lot is still fine. That's what I mean when I say ponding. Not that the entire road would flood, not the entire parking lot, but that it's likely there will be standing water in portions. But areas that are prone to flooding, low-lying areas that are right next to a river, absolutely could see actual flooding where the entirety of the road might need to be closed or an entire parking lot flooded, things like that. We're looking at a lot of rain because it is instantaneous runoff. In the Sierra, those snow levels are so high that instead of that precip falling as snow and sticking around and we're not dealing with any runoff from the Sierra, instead it's falling in the mountains and working its way into the valley at the same time it is raining in the valley. So we're dealing with extra rain than what we've seen with previous winter storms this season. So again, flooding is an issue, especially the COSUMNES River at Michigan Bar. This is one that we talked about pretty much all week long, expected to crest at about 12.5 feet, and that does put it in the flood stage. So this is definitely one we're watching. This is near Rancho Murrieta, the Michigan Bar, COSUMNES River at Michigan Bar. Definitely something that we're watching there. If we take a look still at the COSUMNES, but now a little further to the west, this is at MCCONNELL. This is just south of Elk Grove. Not in the flood stage, but pretty close to it. It is in that monitor stage. 44 feet is the crest. That's the forecast crest. And that'll be, you can see on Sunday, late Sunday morning, earlier in the afternoon on Sunday. So not when it's raining heavily, right? Water takes time to get where it's going. So this is going to be cresting after we've already seen the heaviest rain falling in Northern California. We'll take a look at the Sacramento River now at I Street, just before the Tower Bridge, and not expected to reach the flood monitor stage or even the flood stage, but it will be running pretty high. So about 10.5 feet right now, cresting at about 23.5 feet. So just important, if you're going to be near rivers, anywhere low-lying, keep in mind water is going to be running high and it's going to be running faster than it usually is. Even in the case of the Sacramento River downtown, it's not expected to flood, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be running high and it's not going to be running fast. Just be careful near water. We are still seeing some snow out of the system. There's that winter storm warning in pink until Sunday morning. The winter storm advisory, winter weather advisory until Sunday morning for everywhere in purple. 8 to 15 inches of snow still possible below about 8,000 feet, but still looking at several feet of snow above 8,500 to 9,000 feet. It's been snowing up there this whole time, but below that mark, we've seen that snow level go up and down, and it's not really going to drop that snow level until we get to the end of this system. So for Friday evening, snow levels, again, pretty high, about 9,000 feet. As we work Saturday morning, it'll lower a little bit to about 7,000 feet. So that'll put Donner Summit, Echo Summit, the very highest peaks and passes along I-80 and US 50 in the snow zone. So we are looking at some accumulating snow along 80 and 50 by the time we get to Saturday morning. And then once we get to Saturday evening, that snow level drops again all the way to about 5,000 feet or so. But by the time it drops this far, most of the snow will be coming to an end. So not a lot of accumulation expected for areas like Blue Canyon, Twin Bridges, South Lake Tahoe. Not necessarily, again, looking at a few inches possible for sure, maybe a foot of snow, but that's kind of tops because of how late in the game this snow level is dropping. All right, let's wrap it up now. So for the holiday weekend, Saturday about 58 degrees, heavy rain early for New Year's Eve. But by the end of the day, in that last 6 hours or so for New Year's Eve, the last 6 hours of the year should be clearing out, might even be in completely clear skies. Still will be breezy, though, and chilly, of course, by the time we get into those clear skies, dark skies as well. Low temperature about 42. Once we get to Sunday, for the first day of the new year, 56 degrees. It'll be a dry day. It'll be a mostly sunny day. Still, it will be chilly in the mornings and the evenings, lows in the 30s for January 1st. But take a look at this. Just because this system is coming to an end and Sunday we look dry doesn't mean we're done with the rain. Look at all the rain icons left on the next 10 days. Wednesday might be kind of dry. Maybe we get some rain early, some rain late, but for the most part, it looks like chances of rain over all of the next 10 days except for January 1st. So be sure to stay with ABC 10 for the very latest news and weather with this very wet and rainy pattern we've got here in Northern California.